Hopefully you can hear me okay. You know what? I'm going to connect my headphones. I'm just in a hotel room. My normal setup. No fancy stats, no fancy screens, just me talking to the phone. Can I see the chat? This is the important thing. There's 8 of you here. This large photo of mine on my second screen is terrifying. Oh god, did that actually have as a preview? I thought I just took that and then waited until I put my Canva generator one. Sorry about that. I've literally just decided to do this on the last minute because I was about to go out for dinner and I thought, you know what, I could probably wait 20, 30 minutes. But I was like, I really need to do something for the YouTube. I feel like it's an important week. Got to do something. Just let me know if you can hear me, and let me know also if you can actually start saying stuff in the chat. I want to be able to see what's being said. I'm also going on Twitter because I just posted there. You can hear Jason. Hello, Jason. G'day, Owen. Good to see some people here. Yeah, please let me know if it's all going fine. Literally, it's hotel room Wi-Fi, so don't expect the best. Well, it could be better than my normal internet, based on what happens there with my microwave. 20 people already. Fantastic. All good, mate. Awesome. So yeah, I think this is literally going to be, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. Just go through your questions, maybe give you some of my thoughts on what my team is looking like. I always put photos up of my team on socials. Obviously, lockout is until Friday, so we've got a bit of time until then, which is good. But obviously, it's carnage this week with all the injuries and stuff to Cleary, Turbo. I'm sure there's other players I'm forgetting about. But yeah, they're the two big ones. I guess, Trey Fuller out too. Is it Gregosaurus time of mine? Yeah, Greg Marzu. This is the thing. I'm going to have a little mini vent because I feel like I need to get off my chest. The last 2 weeks have been so frustrating because I've been thinking of how different could my fortunes have been if I just did 2 trades different. I could have, instead of getting Karaz that week, if I went to Sarko, which was my initial instinct, 100 extra points that I could have got. And then that probably would have meant last week, I would have, because I had a Sarko already, I probably would have just stuck to doing RTS to Dom Young. And I would have got 150 points or whatever, 160 points, whatever he scored. I could have been like 250, 300 points up. But those 2 decisions they've cost me, which is not fun. So now, and I feel like the last 2 weeks I'm just chasing my tail. I'm not trying to chase points, which is not great. The whole point of the game is to be trying to predict who's the next one to get the big points. It could still be Dom Young again. Could be Greg Marzu, who knows? But yeah, that's just kind of my predicament that I've had in the last couple of weeks. The chat is disappearing. That's not ideal. Okay, here we go. Ryan Madison, 442k starting. Any love from Maddo? Yeah, I don't mind Madison. I mean, he's generally always been relevant if he gets minutes, but I've been so out of the loop as well. Like I saw team list was actually there was a bit of things that had changed. Dave Fafita backflipping on the Roosters as well was quite funny, to be honest, as well, even as a Roosters fan. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We're all in the same boat and hating our trades. Yeah, I know. It's all hindsight, isn't it? But I feel it more because it was 2 decisions that I was really, really close to doing the alternate, and the alternate would have got me so many more points. And I probably would have been sitting, I reckon, I'm at 18k now. I reckon I would have been in the top 10k if I had done those 2 trades different. So it was a big swing. That's the big thing, is that it wasn't necessarily like 30, 40, even 50 points. We're talking hundreds of points on each trade. It's pretty bad. Anyway, yeah, look, Madison, haven't really looked at him too much. If he's starting, that's good. I know he started last week as well. Apologies if you're going to hear a bunch of typing because I've got my laptop just propping up my phone. So he started last week as well, but 58 minutes for 45 points. If he's not getting the 80 on the edge, it's not ideal. So, I mean, the price is cheap, but I kind of look at it as he's that price for a reason. Minutes have been inconsistent, and even with Origin around the corner, I don't know how many more minutes he's going to be getting. So, kind of not fully looking at Madison, I think, just because of that. I just don't really trust the minutes in the role, and it could change. Like Brad Arthur could change it at any point in time. Who would be better buy out of Marzi or Cooler? So I'm kind of not cold on Cooler, but I'm not super like you have to rush to get him. I mean, obviously going back to fullback is great, and we know what he did at the back end of last season playing at fullback, but that was against really easy opponents when they didn't have anything to play for. He's coming up against Broncos in Magic Round. Then it's going to be Melbourne, a bye, and then Penrith. It just doesn't really feel like the time to be investing in him. He's got a 53 break even, 470k. So it's not like he's going to skyrocket out of reach. He could be around the same price still at round 15. Round 15 could be very tempting because it's the Dragons, Rabbitohs in the bye week. Misses round 17, but then it's the Cowboys, and then plays round 19 against Knights. So it's a good run after that. And you might have also a better update on Turbo, because at the moment I think it's 7 weeks out that they're projecting, but it could be longer. That's a very real chance given it's a hamstring. So I think Kula is not one that you need to rush in my opinion. I'd definitely prefer Marzu. At least Marzu plays round 13, and he's got a better matchup this week. The Titans team is, pretty weak spine. I think they've got Chris Randall and Sam Verrill as their as their 6 and 7. They've got Aaron Clark at dummy half, and I think Keanu Keeney at fullback. So it's a very understrength spine. This week, I definitely would prefer Marzu, and the fact that he plays round 17, got a better work rate, I would assume as well. Like his base to 25. Actually, his base really hasn't changed much in the last 2 weeks, but his tackle, it looks like his tackle busting has gone up massively, and he obviously scored a try last week, which helped a lot. He's only a little bit more expensive, but he's got a lower break even. Versus the Titans, I know next week the bye is not ideal, but you should be able to cover that. I don't think too many of us have got too many Knights players. Melbourne Penrith after the bye is not the best, but he does play around 14 at least, which is going to be a tricky week. I know this. I saw someone ask about Sam Walker. Dom Young is still a very hot trading target this week. We're piling into Roosters Dolphins players, but they missed round 14. The week after State of Origin game 1, players will be rested and they may not always back up. So that's going to be a really tough week. So I think it's actually quite important to see who plays that, getting players and who also play that week. So the fact that he plays 13 and 14, I'd probably prefer Marzu to Kula. What else we got here? Marzu or Karaz? That's an interesting one. So Karaz is obviously much more expensive. I think he's in my team. I got him over Osaka a couple of weeks ago. He scored 100, which I was very happy with. Some junk points at the very end, which is good. Base work rate is still very, very solid. Really good draw though. So Raiders, Dragons, Newcastle parallel before a bye in round 15. So objectively, I think as an option, I prefer Karaz. I think just given that he's got a better work rate, I think he's got a better run coming up as well, and also plays 13 and 14. But he is much more expensive. He's 175k more expensive. That's the only thing that you need to factor in. Can you spend that money and still make your other trades that you want to? If you can, for sure, I'd say I prefer Karaz, because I think he's just going to be a bit more consistent. Both teams, Bulldogs and Knights, not super high-scoring teams. Karaz probably more likely, I think, get you these hundreds maybe compared to Greg. He's already got 3 tons so far this season. I don't think Marzu's got a single one so far this year. Yeah, he hasn't. 87 was his top score last week. So objectively, I think I prefer Karaz, but yeah, obviously it's the money that you've got to take into consideration. Who was on the list for duels besides Dill Brown? Yeah, so Dill Brown's confirmed to be getting halfback status, which is a really important update for people who, obviously a lot of us will own Nathan Cleary. Looking at selling him this week, he's out for 2 months. If you have the ability to wait, you could instead go and get a 5/8 by swapping Dill bags up to your halfback spot. The only issue I see with that, especially if you're a Cleary Hines owner, my feeling is that Hines won't play. Trindle has been named in the reserves. I think my expectation is that Hines won't play. So you could look at it this week as, Hines and Cleary both being out. You're going to cop an AE, so maybe you just look at it as a free opportunity to take a crack at the vice captain loophole. But me personally, I'm probably more likely, I think, just wanting to sell Cleary, and probably would be to Sam Walker. I think he's the most obvious one in my head, mainly because the price is good. It's not too expensive. He does have low games in him, but he's goal kicking for the Roosters, who currently are probably the best attacking team so far at the moment in the competition. So that's obviously a big plus. The attack may not always flow through him, but it's a good run. He plays round 13. He misses round 14, so you do need to be obviously wary of that too. But yeah, Sam Walker, someone asked before my thoughts on Sam Walker. He probably does look the best option to me at halfback. Matt Burton has out-averaged him, but there is a risk with Burton now. I think with all these injuries that New South Wales is copping, I have a very strong feeling that he'll be in the Origin team, either at 5'8", or maybe at centre. If Bradman Best also maybe doesn't get selected, it could be Matt Burton and Stephen Crichton in the centres. Or I think more realistic is that I think Burton plays 5'8", because Moses is not back until next week. Still not a guarantee that goes back into the Origin squad. It could be Moses Burton. It could be Moses Hines. So Burton could be free. It could be Hines Burton. We still don't know, but I feel Burton is going to be there because he's played well. Bulldogs have been good, so his team is actually not necessarily always winning, but you can see the performances of the Bulldogs is much better, and he's been a big part of that too. So I have a feeling that Burton will be involved in Origin, and that's when it gets really tricky in terms of wanting to bring him in, because he would be probably the best option, given how he's performed. He's goal kicking as well, but it's just that risk that he could miss games through Origin, because the thing is, he would miss assuming he plays Origin, he'd miss 13. I would suspect he backs up, and it'd be against Parramatta, which is good. But then his team already has a bye in round 15, and then he misses round 16 again. So between rounds 13 to 16, you'll be missing him for 3 out of 4 games, and then he again misses round 19. That's the issue, I think, with going Burton this week, which is why Sam Walker, I don't think he's going to be in Origin consideration. If there's any injuries in the halves, assuming it's Cherry Evans and Munster, I suspect that Tom Dearden would be next up, or they just put Ben Hunt there. So they've got there's 2 players before him, in my opinion, before he even gets a look in. Oh, thank you, Benny G, for that. Love your dedication to tipsy trading. Yeah, I've been a bit of a culprit for that in the last few weeks, but just the way that things have happened with work recently, I've just been more like out and about and traveling and things, and so meeting customers and whatnot, and so I tend to just have a couple of drinks with that as well, and then of course I go into my phone, and the first thing I go on is my first thing I do is I message my partner just to make sure everything's okay. Second thing I do is go on SuperCoach app. So that's that's the culprit for the tipsy trades. Cleary to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans again, like the run is tough, and then short term, then he misses games to Origin. So just not really personally looking at Cherry Evans from that point of view. With Hines in doubt, is Cleary a must trade this week? Is it just Walker? I was hoping to wait on Brown's duel or the Panthers Cleary replacement. Yeah, that's the other thing. So Jack Cole has been named at 5'8" for Penrith. It really comes down to Brad Schneider, because Brad Schneider is currently injured. If he was fit, he would have been straight into that team. But we don't actually know yet what the injury prognosis is, I believe, on him. So 4 days ago, Physio actually, NRL Physio posted this. Sorry, I'm moving the phone just to hold it for a second. Yeah, he suffered the knee injury. He'll miss at least a few weeks, but a few weeks probably isn't enough even then to maybe want me to go Jack Cole, because this is only Cole's first game. So if you're looking at him as a downgrade cheapie, you'd be going him, and then you probably have to burning another trade to get him back out again. So I'm not overly keen, I think, on Cole, which this is the thing. You go through the process of elimination. If you're going for a cheaper player, maybe Jock Madden, because he's back in the team. He's dual 5'8" halfback, and Reynolds is out for a very long time. But he's 494k, so he's not exactly cheap. His season average is 61.5, so not bad. I mean, I must admit, I haven't really been paying too much attention to his SuperCoach scores, but the last 3 weeks that he's played, round 6, round 7, and round 8, he scored 59, 78, and 76. So, it's pretty decent. Just having a look at some of the fantasy stats. I mean, yeah, he scored a double in that game against the Tigers for 76 points, and the try assist. Basically, he looks like a very low base player. He needs to do a lot in attack just to get meaningful points. Sam Walker's same, but at least Sam Walker, you'd think, probably is more likely to score big. Like, Sam Walker's got 172 this season. He's got a big ceiling. He's got a low floor, but he's got a big ceiling. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Sam Walker just lends himself to being the obvious person. Is Armstrong still a good trade for Turbo? Yeah, I think so. I may even look to get Armstrong this week. I think so Ponga is still about 12 weeks away, which translates to about 6 games because of buys or whatnot. But you'll still get at least 6 more games probably with Armstrong. I'm going to assume now that he's in the team because they've been winning games and he's himself played pretty good. So he missed the first price rise, but he's still 299k, right? So he's still at a good price for a downgrade. He'll play round 13 and he plays round 14. So that's very, very crucial. So yeah, I think Armstrong is still probably a good downgrade target. Prefer him to Jacob Gagai, even though Gagai has been named and will go up in price this week. Armstrong feels like someone that you can play more reliably each week, and I think he's got way better job security. Blaze or Gagai. Blaze Talangi. So, I mean, Gutherson's still going to be out for a few weeks. Talangi, for sure, I prefer as an option. Obviously, he's 119k more expensive, but he's got a negative break even as well, -5, so it's not crazy negative. But yeah, I think he also plays round 13 and he plays round 14 as well. Parramatta's draw is not great though. That's the only downside. So they're playing Melbourne this week. Rabbitohs next week is good, but then the Sharks in round 13. Sharks have been pretty good defensively, and so have the Bulldogs in round 14. And then it's the Roosters in 15. So the run for Parramatta is not actually very good. So I think if you're looking at it purely for cash gen, maybe Gagai is an better option. But I hands down would definitely prefer to play Talangi in my 17. Just looking at the SuperCoach website as well, based on his projected scores and everything. To be fair, they're projecting a score of 50 against Melbourne, which I think is pretty reasonable. He'll go up 46k, and then against the Rabbitohs, look, if against the Rabbitohs, he could easily go 90 plus, where he probably would make you 100k of cash gen if you trade Talangi in, and I think he's a better play. So yeah, I think out of the two, I'd prefer still to go Blaze. Will Price was named at 5'8", and Reggie's another boost for Armstrong. Yeah, I heard Will Price actually wasn't that much of a threat. Apparently, this other guy, Fletcher Sharp, but still, it's probably better. Do I think Luai would be a pod play? I can't recommend Luai. Look, he's also a risk of potentially playing Origin as well, so that's number one. Number two is his season average is 41.9, and he's just not the kind of player who I think, in the absence of Cleary, his role increases in the team, but that doesn't really translate to SuperCoach points. Like his highest score this season was 62 against the Broncos. Otherwise, 38, 23, 33, 33, 41, 43, 55, 49. Nah, I don't like it, especially in your halves. I'm not overly keen on Jerome as an option to bring in, even if he's a pod. This is the downside of pods, is that if it's a pod who doesn't score very well, you're hurting yourself amongst the rest of the pack who don't have him. Where am I from? I'm from Sydney, with Indian heritage. If you're asking where I'm streaming from Brisbane. Selling Fuller to Edwards. Talking about Penrith players who do benefit without Cleary, Dylan Edwards. If you've got the money and you can go Dylan Edwards for trading at Turbo, absolutely he'd be the way who I'd be going. He'd be number one for sure, just based on what he's done so far this year without Cleary. Goal kicking. Look, if you wanted to play it safe and you think, oh, maybe let's wait and see about Origin if he plays or not. I personally think Teddy's going to. I've said this a couple of times. I think Teddy's going to get selected for New South Wales. Like, I know Madge is a new coach, but Teddy's not playing badly. He's been playing pretty decently for the Roosters. Roosters are winning. He's a captain incumbent. I just can't see Madge not picking. I think Edwards definitely deserves a shot, but I just don't think it's going to be Edwards. So I think Edwards will be safe from an Origin point of view. And upcoming run is pretty decent. So he's got the Warriors this week. We've seen the Warriors been very, very leaky. Sharks in round 12 isn't great. Then it's the Dragons in 13 though. Plays 14 against Manly. It's a very good run actually. Overall for Dylan Edwards, he covers around 13, and that's the only bye week they cover. They don't cover around 16 or 19, but based on how he's going, he may deliver enough points to offset missing some of those bye weeks. So yeah, I really love Edwards. Number two would be Drinkwater as a replacement for me for Turbo. He's probably much more popular trade-in option, just given the price is a bit cheaper than Turbo. But obviously not great last week against the Titans, but against Souths, he's currently still my captain at the moment. Just versing the Rabbitohs, who have been very leaky. Reece Walsh probably is third. He will miss games through Origin, but he's probably not too bad where the Broncos do have their team buys in the same weeks as Origin, so he doesn't miss like extra games. And he's goal kicking as well for a long time. So Reece Walsh probably is third behind Drinkwater for me as a fullback trade-in. But yeah, Edwards for sure I think is going to really benefit. 123 of you watching. How awesome. You're just seeing me on my phone. Give the stream a like if you're enjoying it as well. Curran or Kai Piss-Paul reserve? I think it'd be Curran. Yeah, Kai Piss-Paul is an interesting one. So I think someone asked earlier, what are my thoughts on Kai Piss-Paul? Is he still a hold? Can you sell him? I think you can sell him. So I'm just having a quick look here. So he's in my team at the moment. He's 557k. He did go down a bit in price last week as well. He's made so much money though. He went from 597 to 557, so he lost about 40k. 79 break even, so he probably will lose another 20 to 30 if he gets another 40-minute spell. At least in that 40 minutes that he played, he still scored 41, which is not the worst. If you can cash him in for someone, I don't even know who a good downgrade is at second or forward. I still revert to Samuel Afinu, even though he's been a little bit underwhelming. 39 last week, but he did play some time in the centres due to injuries. But his dual second row forward, front row forward is 380k. He looks pretty cemented for an 80-minute role now that Bateman is out as well for 8 to 10 weeks. So Samuel Lafine, like him, Kaipi's pulled down to him. That frees up just under 200k. That's a pretty good move to free up funds, get someone who's dual. I do think Kaipi's pull will come good though. Like I think it seems like they're just kind of managing his minutes. He's only just new to the NRL. He's been playing 80 minutes week on week. So yeah, for me, I think Kaipi's pull I still think is fine. But if you can downgrade to say Fine, and that frees up money to go say Turbo to Edwards. If you told me that's your two trades, yeah, I think that's pretty. Like those would be pretty moves that I'd be pretty on board with. But I'm personally probably going to hold Kaipi's pull. I think I've just got bigger issues in my team to deal with. I've got Trey Fuller, I've got Cleary. I still want to maybe try to get Dom Young, and that might mean sacrificing Taylor May. That just kind of feels where I need to be prioritizing my trades this week, not necessarily getting rid of Kaipi's pull, because I do think it will come good. Kaipi's pull, Galvin, last reserve. I think West Tigers versus the Dolphins. I think I'd probably play Galvin. Like just take the guy who's playing the full 80 minutes, and Galvin's pretty solid. Like he's at worst probably going to get you 40, 45. I suspect Kaipi's pull going to be about the same, but Galvin's more likely to get maybe an attacking stat to get that up to 60 plus. My accent is too heavy. No one's ever told me that before. I don't think I have that strong of an accent anyway. Is Hines a hold even if he's out? Yeah, with Hines, I probably am on the camp of holding. Just I know he's a lot of money, and if you sell him to Sam Walker, you free up so much cash. But just I don't know. I mean, it's interesting if Trindle does come back into the team. We saw at the beginning of the season, like Hines is not the player we've seen in the last few weeks, where he's getting 150s. He's more likely to get 75 to 80 because his role diminishes in the team. The thing is, like, look, I don't know about any of you guys, but my trade situation, I've got 25 trades left before making trades this week, and I'm a very good chance of boosting and using my final boost. I'll be on 22 trades. And I was just thinking about it, like, if I trade out Hines and bring him back, that's 2 trades. I'm probably going to have to try to free up funds elsewhere to make that money to get him back. I'm just looking at it as, look, he's in my team. Sure, it seems like the calf injury is minor. So, like, if he's out this week, then he should hopefully be back next week. I know it's not the best games in the next couple of weeks after this week, but I'm just looking at it from a trade point of view. I think I just want to keep hold of him and not have to worry about selling him and then trying to buy him back. And the thing even with Trindle back, if the average is 75 to 80, that's still probably the best of any halfback out there. So even Hines on a diminished role is still better than most, if not all the halfbacks in SuperCoach. Thank you, Peanut Gallery, for becoming a member. Very much appreciate it. Burton or Sam Walker. I spent quite a bit of time talking about Sam Walker and Burton earlier in the stream, so I would just suggest to go back and listen to that once the stream has ended. But basically, I decided Sam Walker. Thoughts on the hooker situation this year? Nobody seems to be standing out. Yeah, no one does seem to be standing out. Like Harry Grant has been underwhelming. It's probably time to admit it. At the moment, the way he's going, he's not the Harry Grant of the last few years. Look, he's in my team. I'm just, again, looking at trades, just keeping him and having faith that he will turn around. But if you are looking at dummy halves, coming into the period that we're in, it's probably Jeremy Marshall-King, given that he will cover all of the major bye weeks. I think Reece Robson is a chance of playing Origin. Coruscant's also a chance of playing Origin. I mean, you've got Damien Cook, maybe, who's not playing Origin. But even then, the way that the Bunnies are going, I don't think I'd be wanting to invest in him. He's 516k. Jeremy Marshall-King is 620, so there's an extra 100k, but I think you're going to get way more out of JMK than you will out of Cook. So yeah, Jeremy Marshall-King is probably the guy that I think I'd be getting. If you're willing to spend the money at hooker and have both maybe Grant and him, they'll cover each other perfectly. During when Grant is playing Origin, Marshall-King will be there playing all of your major buys. But yes, agree. It's a pretty dead spot. Like I've got Lussick still in my hooker spot. As long as Brendan Hands is in that team, honestly, I'm just going to keep Lussick. I'm not even going to bother with trying to do trades. At least on a low score, it's like 30, 35. So it's not like an AE nightmare. So I'm probably just keeping Lussick. I'm just really trying to minimize trades, I think, at front row forward and hooker, just because they're pretty dead spots at the moment. The center wing is going crash hot. Like that's absolutely where I think the trades need to be prioritized. Fullback is in a bit of a weird spot at the moment. We've got a lot of players who are going to be going to Origin, but it's still definitely position 2 target. But yeah, centre wing is a position where you've got the most options available, and there are so many killing it. So that's, I think, where I want to be trying to focus my trades and trying to beef up as much as I can. Simi Sasagi to Gagai, is that okay? It's an okay move because Simi Sasagi, I don't see when he's coming back into that Raiders team. And at least with Gagai, you'll make some money this week. So I don't mind it, but it doesn't seem the most impactful of trades. But at least you get rid of a guy who's not playing in your team. So yeah, I don't hate that. Armstrong or Gagai, kind of commented on this earlier as well. I do prefer Armstrong. These Indians and their accents are killing me, mate. What are you talking about? I'm not even speaking an Indian accent. Striking thunder. What are you on about? Hey man, thoughts on SJ and Strange to Sam Walker and Blaze Solangi? Want to save the 300k to upgrade talent to Manu next week? I think that's pretty good moves. Yeah, I quite like that. So, bloody live streaming on your phone, the chat keeps disappearing. It's annoying. It's like I have to keep my finger on the phone. So yeah, SJ out. I mean, SJ's probably out for 2 weeks, but I think the way that the Warriors are going is probably fine to move on. And yeah, Strange to Talangi, I think is a decent move. Strange is, how much is he now? 457. Yeah, you do free up about 140k doing that. And if that's getting you Manu next week, Manu's one guy who I'm kind of looking at as I don't know how I'm going to get him into my center wing in round 13 because he'll be a boss playing at fullback, but he's very expensive. He just hasn't gone down in price. Kiwi or Aussie? Well, as an Aussie, I'm going to say Aussie. What's my favorite pie? I don't really eat pie, to be honest, so I can't really comment. I like, you know what? I like chicken and leek pie. 5 Roosters in my team. If I get Walker, round 14 is scaring me. Yeah, this is the one thing just to keep wary of is just your numbers for round 14. You just want to make sure that you're not going to be too weak for that particular round. Can players get 3 positions? No, you can't. You can only get 2 is the max. Excuse me. Aman, would you go Farlongo or Marzu? I think Marzu. Farlongo's got that job security risk where Pappy will be back eventually. And I know he's a very exciting player, but he's got a very low base and it hasn't quite panned out in the last couple of weeks. I think Marzu playing round 13 as well. Yes, so Peanut Gallery is saying is Farlongo a must if you don't have him. No, I don't think so. I think I'd actually rather go Armstrong compared to Farlongo. So because I'm actually looking to maybe do a downgrade move, and I think I prefer Armstrong. He covers 13. He's probably got a longer stint as well in the team for the Knights compared to Farlongo at Melbourne. Does having too many cheapies centre wings hurt as they're taking up spots which should be guns? Yeah, this is the thing. Like centre wing, as I said, such a hot position at the moment. You want to be like ideally you would have 7 guns. You'd have, I think the ideal 7 centre wings you'd have is probably Manu, Lomax, Holmes, Garrick, Sarko, Dom Young, and like Mulatalo. That's like, did I just say 7? I can't even remember if I said 7 or 8 players, but anyway, that's like 7 players easily. There's still a bunch of other good centre wings that I've probably missed there that you could factor in. But the fact that I can just rattle off these centres that are so good, it shows how good of a position is at the moment. So yeah, I definitely think that's the thing as well. Like I'm going Armstrong. I'm going to have Talangi and Armstrong, so I'll only have spots for 5 centre wing guns. But for now, that's probably okay. Like Talangi playing at fullback is still delivering good points, and at least with Armstrong and Talangi, they're both playing at fullback, which is a good place to be playing from a SuperCoach point of view for getting points. All right, let's see. We'll do a few more questions. We're getting up to about 29 minutes, so I think those comments are rage bait because you sound Australian to me. What do you reckon are the best 2RFs to target heading into the Origin period? Yeah, that's a tough one because second or fourth. I mean, so far in the last few weeks, Fafita and Crichton have been the 2 to own. I've only had Crichton. I haven't had Fafita. You would think both of Fafita for sure playing Origin. Angus, the way that he's going, you'd think it was also playing Origin. So if you're trying to think of like say non-Origin playing second row forwards, so I'm just going to adjust my view here. So I'm looking at all second row forwards currently sorted by average. You got Dave Fafita, Asukapoa, but he's only played the 1 game. Maybe he's an option with Bateman being out for 8 to 10 weeks, so maybe just keep an eye on him. But you've got Angus, probably Origin bound, Isaiah, probably Origin, Olakwatu, probably Origin. The next one who is not going to play Origin is Eli Katoa. So he's probably one. Doesn't play round 13, but he will be available during the whole Origin period. Sub 700k, he scored 92 points last week. He's probably the one I'd target. Hopgood, I think he's also a chance of playing Origin as well. Elliot Whitehead, 68.5 average. He's only played 2 games though. Yeah, Pat Carrigan, Origin. Cam McInnes probably Origin as well. Jaden Sewer maybe is in him. Like, second and forward is actually really weak looking at the moment. Like, once all these guys go for Origin, it's really Eli Katoa the one that stands out in terms of an average. If we saw by, say, last 5-round average, I might see if there's anyone different there. No, I'd see it's Angus, Fafita, Olukwatu, Azayo, Connor Watson, but he's on the bench. Nanai, Origin bound. Jaden Sewer, maybe. Sewer's averaging 65 for the season, but he's 664k, so he's not necessarily coming in cheap. I'd rather definitely just go Eli Katoa. Hudson Young, Luke Garner, maybe he's 551k. He's got a negative break-even. I believe Scott Sorensen is somewhere around the squad, so I'm wondering how long Garner's going to be in the team for. But Garner feels like Hosking from earlier in the season, where he's got a big negative break-even. Maybe you cash him in for a 2-week play, and then you sell him at that point. But yeah, second and forward's pretty tough. I'd say Eli Katoa. If you want a very, very consistent, boring option, Ewan Aitken is dual second row forward, center wing, 633k. He's never going to get you a bad score, but he also won't give you huge scores. He scored 83 last week, but maybe he's an option. But yeah, the second row forward is actually really dominated by Origin players. Sean Bloor set 575Ks, scored 51 last week. He's probably someone else. So Eli Katoa, Sean Bloor, Britton Nickera is probably another one. Really interested in the role of Dylan Lucas. So, like Dylan Lucas, whenever he plays good minutes, he's a good option for SuperCoach. But maybe if Frizzell goes away for Origin, then maybe Dylan Lucas becomes more of an option. Any love for Isaac Tungo? I think without Cleary now in this team, I just don't think Tungo is going to be the same threat that he was at the beginning of the season. Is Dylan Edwards a lock for Origin? As I said before, I think it will be Teddy. I still think it will be Teddy. Thoughts on Cleary, Turbo, and Kai Pearce-Paul, Sam Walker, Brown, and Drinky? Yeah, I like those moves. Those are pretty good moves. Yep. Thoughts on Turbo to Cody Nikorima? Yeah, if you're looking for a 5'8", Nikorima has actually been really good, just eye test wise, in the last few weeks as well. We know the benefit of the Dolphins is that they do play all of those major bye weeks. So having a look at Nikorima here. Yeah, he scored 47 last week. He does have the occasional low game in him, but he's been pretty good in the last few weeks. So yeah, he's 645k. So I think Nikorima is an option. Otherwise, Dillbag's getting his duel will be very handy. Otherwise, you could just go really safe and go like a Max Plath. But I don't mind going Nikorima, a bit of a pod for sure. When will Galvin peak? Do I reckon? So he's currently 435k. His break even is 50. No, it's 37. I reckon he's going to peak around the 450k range. But at the moment, I just don't have any strong desire to sell him. Even for like a K a week, so he's got a negative break even. Galvin, I think, has been solid enough. And yeah, I've just got other priorities, I think. Hines looks unlikely there the last game. What happens if I play Hines? He's not the last game. The last game is Tigers Dolphins. I think it's He's the second last game on Saturday. But if he doesn't play, then you'll just get a CNK a trade. Yeah, look, tough little run coming up for the Warriors. I think you can maybe give him one more week. He's playing a 5'8", which is not ideal. You'd rather him at fullback. You'd have to suspect that his base is going to be down, which is not great. Let me just try to find Nickel Klukstad. Yeah, 110 break even though, so that's really high. I think if you can do CNK to Drinky for the same price, I definitely think Drinkwater is a better option than him. But yeah, you can maybe give it one more week. But look, against Penrith, I can't tell him to not. I think trading him is perfectly fine, given that he's versing Penrith, and it's a really high break even that he's got as well. His scores are like the benefit with him generally is that he's got such good work rate that his lowest score was 40 against the Newcastle Knights. But at 5'8", the base you'd have to think is reduced. I think we might wrap up on the question side of things. Now I'm getting hungry, so I do want to have dinner soon. But in terms of what I'm looking at doing with my own team, so I'll obviously post my team. Well, you know what? Let's do some. How does this? Let's do this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys, perfect. You see my team. Let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. You can see my keyboard as well. So yeah, at the moment I've got Grant, Lussick, not changing them, not changing front row forward. I probably will not play Kai Paul, but I'll keep him. I'll probably play Angus Elikato and Sean Lane. I'm assuming Hines is not going to play, so I probably will sell Cleary to get someone in there. Dillbags and Galvin will stay for me. Isako, Karaz, Garrick, Holmes, Kale Iro, I'll definitely play this week. Well, definitely. Like, Roosters is tough. Yeah. Oh, yeah, on Trey Fuller, so I might just quickly pause showing you my team. But yeah, with Trey Fuller, so I know some people have said, couldn't you just hold him for round 13? Because he should play in that week when Hamaso is out for Origin. I just suspect Hamaso is going to play Origin. But it's only best 13, so I think I don't need to worry about having to keep Fuller for that. It is a good week for him that week. Like, playing in round 13, he'll be at fullback versus the Raiders. So he'll be a pretty good option at that point, and he will make a little bit more money. But it's the next 2 weeks. I won't be having him for the next 2 weeks. And if I sell him down to Armstrong, it can help me fund Dom Young. So that's the main thing. Like, and with Trey Fuller, I was looking at him as soon as Hamiso was back, I was probably going to be selling him. I was hoping that maybe Fuller would get the West Tigers game and that Hamiso would be back in round 12. He's back in round 11, so it is what it is. But yeah, I think I'll be selling Fuller this week, and I just don't think I need to have to keep him for my team for round 13. So quickly go back to my team, and then we'll wrap up the stream. Just giving you a little rhyme there. So I think what I was thinking of doing for trades. So Trey Fuller is going to get the trade. CJ Johnson, I think I'm going to have to report you because you've been very, very negative. Never had to generally report someone, but there you go. You have been reported. Sorry, mate. All right, yeah. So Trey Fuller probably will be sold to me. And the thing is, with fullbacks being a little bit uncertain at the moment, I'm probably happy to just put one of my centre wings down there. But let's say I want to get Trey Fuller in, and I think Dom Young is who I want. So yeah, I think Dom Young is just he's one of those players who I know missing out on 160 points is not great, but yeah, look, it's still sub 700k. So yeah, I think I want to get Dom Young in there. But if I need to do that, I'm short on funds, so I can go Cleary out for Sam Walker, who's I think the option I want, but I still need to make another move to make that particular trade work. So I was thinking of just getting rid of Telemay. I don't really think I can sell any of my other centre wings. And so I've got 366k to play with. So I can actually go far longer, but I think I prefer Armstrong for that round 13 cover. How am I going to look for him? What did he score last week? He scored something in the 60s, didn't he? Here he is, Armstrong. So this is the boost that I was thinking of. So Fuller, Cleary, and May out for Dom Young, Sam Walker, and Armstrong. It does hurt me for round 14, getting 2 Roosters players in. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get Manu in. So I definitely feel like I need to maybe offset it by getting Dom Young. I don't have any Roosters backline players, which feels wrong based on how they're going at the moment. But yes, that's the potential boost that I'm looking at. Then I'd be pretty happy with Isako, Dom Young, Val Holmes, Karaz, and I'd have Garrick down at fullback. And then 67k in the bank. And yeah, this would actually be my last boost. But I'm kind of looking at it as hopefully just, I don't know, just use a boost. And because in round 13, you still get 3 trades to play with. So yeah, I feel like I can manage that. Yeah, it would be my last boost. And my battery is about to go down. All right, CJ, you're out of here, mate. Sorry, mate. You've been too negative. We can't have any of this here. Thoughts on Latrell? No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, Latrell is an option, but I just Rabbitohs players, I just don't know. I prefer Drinky, put it that way. So yeah, in terms of what my final team will look like, sorry, one last time we'll turn it around. Sorry, apologies, I'm not really getting to your questions. But yeah, so Sam Walker, I'd put in my starting team. I mean, they're playing the same game anyway, Hines and Walker. But let's assume I would definitely play Armstrong actually in my team this week versus the Titans. I'll probably swap out Holmes and see plays later in the week. I'd actually probably not play Galvin. I'd probably instead put on Garrick. So I don't even have to play. Like I can actually probably still have 4 decent reserves without selling Hines. So I think I'm probably happy to keep Hines there. In terms of what I'll be doing for VCs and Cs, actually, you know what I'd be doing? I'd probably VC Garrick because I don't know. I've got a feeling that that game can be high scoring. Broncos haven't been like the best defensively, so I might just swap out maybe just swap out Dom Young as a reserve. So I reckon I'll go VC Garrick, and I'd probably go captain on Drinkwater. I like that matchup against the Rabbitohs on Saturday night. So he'll be probably my captain. If it wasn't him, it would probably be Asako. But I'm pretty happy to go captain Drinky. And if Hines is confirmed to play, I'll probably just take the reserve off one of Talangi or Iro because Iro plays in the same game, and Talangi plays later in the week. Actually, you know what? I would probably take it off Talangi, even though it's playing at fullback. It's Melbourne, so that's more likely to be my reserves. But if Hines is out, I'll probably just put it on Talangi. Happy to keep Kai Ball on the bench, just given that he will be playing off the bench. So not sure about minutes. Yeah, so that's the team. 41 minutes. I think we're probably good to maybe wrap this one up because I'm getting hungry. Yeah, thanks guys. Sorry guys, for I couldn't get to all of your questions, but hopefully you still found this useful. Apologies for the lack of nice stream setup and whatnot, but I still wanted to do something, and it's always good to go live and just chat with you all out there, which is good. And so I'm in Brisbane, so if you're around at Magic Round, and if you see me, come say hello. I'll probably be around Caxton, I reckon, most of the time, to be honest. Probably Friday afternoon is when I'm thinking of going to be first being there. I'll be there all 3 days as well. So yeah, come say hi if you do see me. We can have a drink together, no problems. But hopefully you all enjoyed the stream. I'm off for dinner. Hope you all have a good one, and hopefully you found some use out of it. We'll catch you all next time. See ya.